said, we know what SummerSlam is going to look like.
Mm.
So overall, well, what's your excitement level? We've got SummerSlam coming up this Saturday in Cleveland, Ohio, pal. Where are you at? On a scale of 1 to 10, you're like a 12, pal. You a 9, you a 6, you a 2.
In God, honestly, an objective opinion here, probably a 9 or a 10.
Wow.
Out of 10. And the reason for that is because the main matches,
Yes.
in my view, are unpredictable.
Yes.
I'm not looking at this card like we do with most cards and go, should be good. We know Roman Reigns is going to retain, or should be good, but we know Cody's just going to walk through and retain, and it's going to be boring, or I don't know what to I know what to expect here. Punk's just going to walk over the top of McIntyre. Like, it's unpredictable. I don't know what they're going to do in Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. I don't know what direction they're going to go with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. I don't know what direction they're going to go with this Punk and Sikoa match. They could go 10 different ways. We could end up with, right. We'll discuss more specifically later. But most of these matches, I don't know where they're going to go with them. So I'm actually intrigued as the viewer. Hats off to WWE for creating some actual, unpredictability, intrigue, these really well built up matches. We'll discuss them more in a minute. But Punk and McIntyre has been built for 6 months. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley has been built for like 5 months. And most of that time has been captivating. It's not just one of these long-term stories, pal, that goes for 2 years technically, but it's been dead in the water most of the time. But these are actually like hot storylines, pal. And in Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, and Dom Mysterio's case, quite literally a hot storyline, pal. No pun intended. So, yeah, I'm very excited, it's nice to say that because most shows, when we ask this question, I go, yeah, about a 5, about a 6. Oh, I'm probably a 7 out of 10, maybe. Ha ha ha. This is like a 9 or a 10 to me. So, yeah, that's where I am. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm at like an 8. I'm at like an 8.5, and largely that's carried by McIntyre and Punk. Like, I just want to see Punk have his live event, or his live television PLE one-on-one match debut. I was there for the Royal Rumble. I saw Punk get injured, pal. And now I'm excited for him to have his big match. I don't want to step on what you said about these matches being unpredictable, the main matches. Just don't look at the betting odds. That's all I'll say. Just don't look at the betting odds. It may contradict what you just said, may or may not. But the betting odds are interesting, and I do think this SummerSlam, CM Punk went on ESPN and said, "Oh, this is gonna be a WrestleMania level show." There is potential that this could be better than WrestleMania for a few reasons. I guess we'll just go. I'll just say my excitement level. I already said my excitement level. I'm at 8.5. But let's go to Punk and McIntyre. Let's just talk about that. That's a big match. That for me and most people watching, I'm sure that's a big match that most people are excited for. I'm sure it is for you as well, pal. That when CM Punk, the rumors were hitting that CM Punk's going to come back to WWE, and you were like, "Oh, play it in 2K, pal," and you were like, "You want to see Punk versus Roman, Punk versus Rollins, Punk versus Cena, play it in 2K." You didn't mention Punk versus McIntyre. Nobody did. Nobody said, "Oh, I can't wait to see Punk versus McIntyre. Can't wait for this if he does come to WWE." And Drew McIntyre grabbed the bull by the horns and put himself at the forefront of the conversation and turned this match with Punk into the match that everybody wants to see with Punk in Punk's return to WWE. And when it's all said and done, this storyline and this match could end up being the storyline and the match that Punk has, however long his final run with WWE lasts. This could be the one. Like the WrestleMania match with Rollins, unfortunately didn't happen due to injury. Will we get that next year? Will we get it in a few years? Who knows? But right now, it just feels like nothing that Punk does can top this storyline with McIntyre. I mean, this is one of the best storylines that I can remember on WWE TV that doesn't involve like 20 Samoans and Paul Heyman crying, just a one-on-one, like these two guys hate each other, like throwback storyline. I can't remember the last one that was this intriguing.
I can't either. And that's why it's so fascinating. The only, I'll get out of the way, the only half negative I have on this before we just praise this stuff a bunch, we haven't seen CM Punk complete a full televised match in a long time. And he is an injury-prone 40-something-year-old man. So I'm hoping he gets through the match unscathed and the feud can roll on. and we can enjoy all that without having to have the thing derailed by another health issue. But that all considered, yeah, this is phenomenal. I mean, everything they've done has been great. Drew McIntyre has been exceptional. When you're working with a guy who can't physically wrestle, and you've made it the most compelling thing on television for WWE pretty much, the last 6 months, through WrestleMania season, through that whole, Rock, Cody, Roman, Rollins debacle, McIntyre was still front of mind through a lot of it. And then after WrestleMania, he's been the thing, the story, the feud with Punk, everything that's involved it. 6 months now it's been going. This is above the World Championship, not the Cody title, as in like the Damian Priest Gunther match. This is well above that, as we saw from the last pay-per-view. This has more bearing and more stock in the company than World Championships. That's where Drew McIntyre is above the World Championship now with his work from this. CM Punk, I mean, he mentioned in his promo on Raw at the end when he responded and ended the promo, pal, about how, the Punk name and the Punk orbit has really accelerated this. And obviously Punk didn't say this part himself, but McIntyre's been a huge positive in this whole thing and really help them both. But yeah, it's going to be unbelievable. This is going to be phenomenal. I hope this gets 20, 25 minutes. They're going to do a lot of stuff in here with how Rollins is talking about it in his promo as the referee, pal. Seth Rollins, if I see something that's a disqualification, may or may not call. If I see a count out, might count to 10, might count to 20, might count to 1,000,000. If I see, you try and lay your hand on me, well, I'll lay my hand back. All this sort of stuff with the referee byplay. I don't mind it. Rollins fits into this, considering he was supposed to be the guy Punk faces at WrestleMania, so he fits into the plans here. I just hope it doesn't all become about Rollins. I want to see this just Punk and McIntyre. 95% of this is just about them. So, yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic, pal.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned the Rollins at the end there about his involvement. I want to talk about that before we move on to the next match. I see, you see a lot of people that are like, oh, Rollins doesn't need to be in this match. Why is Rollins here? Rollins stealing spotlight, blah, blah, blah. I think Rollins is a great addition to this. Just why not add another wrinkle to the story? It makes sense. Rollins was angry when Punk debuted at Survivor Series last year. How real was that? Who knows? But Seth Rollins is a top 30 guy of all time. This guy is one of the greatest ever. Why not have him out there? It's not the first time that we've seen this at SummerSlam. You had Cena and Bryan. Triple H was the referee for that. You go back to Brett versus Undertaker, where Shawn was the referee. There was another one in there, I think, where Hogan was like a referee, or somebody was a referee for a Hogan match. I can't remember, back in the 80s, maybe early 90s. Somebody will correct me. But we've seen this before, for whatever reason, at SummerSlam, especially with a big-time wrestler being a special guest referee. And I like the way that they kind of explain this logically. Rollins was like, hey, look, no referee wants to do this. We need another psycho in here to keep you guys, in check. And it makes sense. You have Rollins in there who hates both of them, like he said. All three guys hate each other, so there probably won't be any bias. We're probably not going to see, Rollins hit a curb stomp on Punk and then a fast count for McIntyre. That would be absolutely bonkers if that happens. Yeah, this match is unpredictable. It's intriguing. I wouldn't get my expectations too high, thinking that we're going to see an all-time classic here. I mean, Punk is returning from injury, and he's been injured several times recently. So I don't think we're going to see a bell-to-bell 5-star classic. This might be a 15 to 18-minute match with a lot of headlocks, a lot of yelling at each other, a lot of taunting. I don't know if they're going to run into it. I think Punk needs to get through this match first of all, because if he gets injured again, I mean, he's cooked. He needs to get through this match first of all, and then they can build to Bad Blood. They have a Hell in a Cell match, or in December they have a Hell in a Cell match or something like that. Whatever the case may be, a street fight, Falls Count Anywhere. I think this is just a beginning of another a trilogy at the minimum.
I agree, and so my prediction, in one of these matches, I don't know if it's gonna be this one. I don't think it'll be this one. Punk's gonna snap and become a heel at one stage. He's just going to be angry old Phil. He's going to be nasty, and he's going to be cutting really scathing promos, and the goal will be getting him booed. I don't know. I think it'll be this match. I think it'll be one of the matches to come, where he just unloads with a chair, assault on Drew, on the referee. It's oh my god, something like that. I don't think it'll be here. My prediction is flip a coin. Honestly, I don't know. I can't see Drew losing this match. I think Drew wins and then makes it insufferable with Punk, and Punk has to come back and try and beat him in the next show. That's what it seems like, because you can't have Drew be screwed out of the world title twice and just lose. Then what? You know, like then he's just not as good as Punk and he sucks. I reckon.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that you can predict this, honestly. Like, there's like, I don't know what I can see happening here. Like, I don't see an angle or anything that really jumps out to mind. Like, I think this is going to be a chaotic, anything could happen type of thing. I think you make a point there about McIntyre winning, but I mean, the argument for that is like Punk needs a win, pal. You know, he's been gone for so long. He needs a win over a top star. So I predict Punk. I think he's gonna win this. All right, let's talk about.
Well, let's I want to just get this match out of the way because this is just it. Bayley and Nia Jax.
Yeah.
When I look at the card, this is the match which I'm like, okay, pencil in your 15 minutes of get your errands done, get your bathroom break done. And that's nothing against Bayley's incredible in-ring work, pal, but it's like, yeah. Well, when compared to the rest of the card, not as much excitement there. I'm not going to pretend to be. I'll be authentic with the audience. Does Nia Jax win the women's title, pal? What do you think?
I think so. Yeah. Bayley's title run has left a little to be desired. I think Nia Jax is weird, like oddly the bigger star right now. Like people just hate her for whatever reason. So. Yeah, I think they'll put the belt on her, let her get booed, and get a crowd reaction.
Yeah. Pal, Bayley's moment was winning the Royal Rumble, which you were there for.
It was a big moment, yeah.
When she's on the top rope, pointing at the WrestleMania sign, pyrotechnics are going off. You got the WWE production.
The whole crowd is like doing that with her.
Yep, hitting the pyrotechnics button, big explosions going off. She's pointing. You're in the crowd, pal, with your girlfriend, pointing at the sign. That was Bayley's moment.
Yep.
I remember we were going to WrestleMania 49. Does she even need to win the match? Like, what's her winning the title really going to do? It really hasn't done anything, to be honest. Like, it hasn't moved the needle much. It's not one of the things people are talking about, generally speaking, in the wrestling
Which
space.
is very disappointing. I just want to add that. It's very disappointing. I had high hopes for Bayley, but go ahead.
I agree. And so, yeah, I think Nia Jax wins this match, and then we just move into a new direction for the women's division on SmackDown. What that looks like, I don't know. It looks like Nia Jax, pal. I was there at the Elimination Chamber booing Nia Jax. We had Rhodes appeal screaming "F you, Nia!" You know, Nia sucks, booing. Like, yeah, get Nia the title.
Yeah, it's just a means to an end, and then you could turn Tiffany Stratton babyface and have her beat Nia. Boom, new babyface champion, pal. All right, I want to talk about the hometown boy, Mr. Prime, a man that I see everywhere, like every grocery store. It's like seems like has a cardboard cutout of this guy, holding a Prime bottle like that. So Logan Paul versus LA Knight for the United States Championship. To make it quick, I think this is LA Knight's moment. LA Knight has to get a big win. Like, he has to. He has not had a big win throughout his rise, which we witnessed last year around this time is when the rise of LA Knight began. He wasn't on a ton of pay-per-views last year, especially the first half of the year. He's lost seemingly more matches than he's won, especially on PLE. I think he's got to win this year. Logan Paul doesn't need the U.S. title anymore. This is going to be a big match. I mean, Logan Paul's probably going to get booed into some town. That's how good of a heel he is. LA Knight's going to get cheered. And yeah, we can see the rise of LA Knight, the main eventer, pal. Like, the top guy. And I think that's where we're headed now. Let me talk to you. So, yeah, I think LA Knight wins and he carries the momentum in. And I think he's going to be a favorite come the Royal Rumble next year. So.
I want to see Logan Paul. Yeah, he's like, Cleveland, what's up? He's like hyping up his home. What's his home crowd? He's like hugging his parents in the front row. The thunderous boos. Like, you know, Logan's hugging his mother. Boo!
And Jake Paul's gonna be there. Jake Paul's like, yeah.
Jake Paul's with the cronies, pal. Yeah, no, this screams an LA Knight win. And like a thunderous reaction. I agree with you. I mean, LA Knight's been phenomenal for a year and a half. And all I can remember that he really tangibly has to show for it was a feud and a storyline with Roman Reigns where Roman was walking out and then LA Knight marched out there and bumped him. And then you could see Roman's reflection in LA Knight's glasses. And then LA Knight lost. Like, that's all I can really tell you from like a matches X's and O's point of view. And LA Knight teamed with Cena, pal, at Fastlane and beat Sikoa, pal. Great. You know, like that. Yeah, so like LA Knight needs to win this match. Logan's held the title 9 months. We've had 9 months of the US title sitting on the Impulsive podcast. We've had Logan promoting the US title in WWE for 9 months. And before that, we had like Austin Theory hold the title for basically like a year before like Ray held it for a month. So look, we needed a breath of fresh air with this championship. Give LA Knight the title. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's talk Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. Sami Zayn feels like the biggest afterthought of all the champions here, like even more than Bayley. And that's not to slight Sami Zayn. You know, Sami Zayn's been one of the best singles wrestlers in the company for the past 2 calendar years. It just feels that way for whatever reason. Like, you know, the match felt bigger last month, Braun Breaker and Sami at Money in the Bank. But I get why you would want to wait. You want Braun Breaker to get his moment in front of more people, in front of more eyeballs. More people will be watching SummerSlam. The Money in the Bank is just a fact of life. And you know, Sami Zayn like winning the title at Money in the Bank doesn't make Triple H a horrible person, a bad booker. You know, he's still a great booker, pal. His right hand is gold, pal. His right 2 fingers that he holds the pencil with are gold fingers, pal. So, yeah, I think this. It should, in my opinion, if I had the pencil, I would book this as a squash. I would have Braun Breaker just go in there, beat up Sami for 3 minutes. Sami gets like 30 seconds of offense. The crowd gets behind him, and then boom, spear. You know, have Sami kick out of 1 spear him again. 1, 2, 3. Like, I don't think this needs to be like a 10, 15 minute Matt classic. Good.
There is no chance in hell that happens.
I know.
Because this is Sami Zayn and Triple H is writing the show. So
I know.
If Braun Breaker wins, at minimum, it'll be a 15-minute back and forth struggle. Braun Breaker will be like on the verge of tears. He'll be looking at the camera. He'll hit like a 3rd spear. Then he'll finally pin Sami Zayn, pal. Sami Zayn's in the reign of terror, pal. Like you can't put this guy away.
I know.
Yeah, I saw some comment about obviously in the aftermath of Money in the Bank, and people were freaking out because Braun Breaker didn't win there. And someone's like, oh, it's more about Sami Zayn's story and his overcoming of obstacles and his title run than it is so about Braun. I'm like, well, It shouldn't be. Even if it is, it shouldn't be. This is Braun's moment.
Yeah.
Give Braun the title. Who cares? All right? Give Braun the title here. This is his moment. Yeah, Sami, he's a made man, pal. He's one of Triple H's favorites, pal. He's not Lashley or MVP, pal. He's actually a Triple H guy. So, yeah, there you go, pal.
Yeah, Braun Breaker's minus 3,000 to win, so it's a lock. That's a lock if I've ever seen one. Yeah. Now, like what I think should happen, if you do that right, if you have Braun squash him in 3 minutes, that's a oh my god moment. People are talking about that. We're like leading off this podcast like, oh my god, did you see Sami Zayn get destroyed? He was stretchered out, pal. Like, you know, you had him kill Ricochet basically. Braun Breaker killed Ricochet. Sami Zayn is smaller than Ricochet. And Ricochet is not a big guy. You know, Sami Zayn's smaller than him. There's no reason why Braun Breaker can't kill Sami Zayn too. Like, and plus that, hold on, let me say this. That gives you an angle. You could do a return match in like 6 months. Sami Zayn comes back 6 months later, whatever, 3 weeks, however you want to do it. 2-3 months later, he's like, oh, my ribs broke. Braun Breaker broke 3 of my ribs. Like, that gives you a storyline to have another match too.
Yeah, and then if you're smart about it, you could then have Braun Breaker in promos address it. Be like, hey, Sami, you beat the Usos in the WrestleMania main event. You beat Gunther, who like no one's beaten. You effectively beat Roman Reigns, all but Elimination Chamber last year. All these big stars, you've beaten them. I destroyed you. That makes me the best in this company. I've got an IC title now. So stick that up your ass, fans. Cop that. I'm going to destroy all your heroes. Like,
there you go. All right, pal. What are we doing now? Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley.
Sure. Yes, we are, pal. Pal, I am gripped by this storyline. They can go, similar to McIntyre and Punk, they can go a million different directions with this. I've seen the social media, I guess, talk and how big I'm not really on wrestling Twitter or dirt sheets or the forums or whatever, but how much talk this is getting, I don't know. Whether they do some sort of angle where Liv Morgan aligns with Rhea Ripley and they both just screw Dom or something, I don't know. Whether they go with, Dom ends up with Rhea Ripley or Dom ends up with Liv and they ruse the other one, or Jey Uso is involved in this somehow. I honestly don't know. They can go a million directions with this. The build's been fantastic. The build's kept you engaged for mainly June. This is like the main thing I was watching, going, what are they going to do? I can't wait to see what they do here. This is going to be great.
Absolutely. Yeah, being that Jey Uso's not on the show, I think he's going to be involved in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, anything could happen. Yeah, I mean, we could get like Eddie Guerrero, like Latino Heat style, where Eddie's just, not Eddie, Dom is just walking behind Rhea, like, yeah, tricked you guys all along, hiding behind Rhea. Like, we could see that. We could see Liv and Dom being in on it the whole time, being in love. Who knows? Maybe a third woman will come out and Dom will be in love with them who the hell knows? Maybe Chelsea Green will come out.
if Mandy Rose returns in this, I'm owed money from our viewers. That's a left field prediction that no one's probably predicting. If Mandy Rose gets involved and they try and do some like lesbian lovers angle, I'm just gonna throw it out there because honestly they go a million directions with this. Nothing's off limits. You got Jey Uso's gonna maybe be involved here. Maybe you see Jey Uso trying to flirt with Rhea Ripley backstage before the match, and that throws Rhea off, and then Dom Mysterio is hiding behind Rhea Ripley, and then Liv Morgan has the match of her career, pal, and Liv Morgan pins Rhea, and Rhea's throwing things, and then Jey Uso makes out with Rhea Ripley, and then you get like some bombshell return. This can go a million directions, so I'm here for it. I can't wait to see what they do. I hope this is just a carny circus. I hope that's what this is. This is going to be brilliant. This will be on TMZ, pal. Gripping.
Yeah, I do think Liv is walking away with the championship, though. I do think whatever happens, she's walking away with the title. All right, now let's talk about your boy, Damian Priest, your favorite wrestler, pal. Damian Priest defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther. I do think this match is going to be very good. That's one thing I can say about this. Now, will it be riveting and captivating when Gunther wins the title? Will people be crying in the crowd like a CM Punk making his debut in AEW 3 years ago? Will it be like that? Probably not hitting that level of emotion. But I do think this will be a good match. I think this will be the one Damian Priest match that is straight up and there's no interference. Now I could be wrong on that. Maybe Fergie will come out there and cost Damian Priest a championship, pal, and then Priest versus Fergie would be a bigger storyline than Gunther winning the title. I wouldn't put it past Triple H and his golden right two fingers, pal, that he grips the pencil with. Like I wouldn't put it past Triple H, pal. Nothing would surprise me, honestly. It wouldn't surprise me if this was like a 10-minute match and it was like Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose from WrestleMania 32. And like right when it's getting hot, Gunther just chops the hell out of Priest and we get a 1, 2, 3 and like 6 power bombs. And, I mean, nothing would surprise me on this show. You could tell me anything happened and I would be like, yeah, okay, sounds right.
Probably, I look at this match, Gunther, Damian Priest, World Heavyweight Championship, Triple H booking, I think 18-minute match, Gunther wins. Balor has some involvement with screwing or some kerfuffle with Damian Priest. And then we get like 7 months of storytelling where Damian Priest is like, you effed me. I mean, like, once I go to Netflix, I can actually use the line. You effed me over, Finn. F you. And Finn Balor's like he's doing like suck it and all this thing. Yeah. Like they can do that. And then, Gunther can run off and have like a 4-year-long world title run as like the CM Punk 434, pal. The afterthought mid-card world champion as you got the main event of Raw, Punk, McIntyre, Rollins, most other storylines, and Gunther's just holding the world title as the workhorse champion. Because when I look at this, I look at this show similar to like a WrestleMania 28. You've got, Punk and McIntyre, which is like the Rock and Cena, very well built, big match, overshadows the world title. Then you got this, which is like a personal world title match. At WrestleMania 28, it was Punk and Jericho. Here, it's Priest and Gunther, pal. Priest has, had his family mentioned, pal. Gunther doesn't want to associate with people like Priest, pal. I found that hilarious. I was like, am I watching Triple H and Booker T, pal? Just a bit less racial? I don't know. I don't really care, though. It's going to be fun. This is my man, Damian Priest, the biggest, the best wrestler, the one I support the most. Damian effing Priest versus Gunther, pal. Gunther, this bomb, pal. There you go.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's going to be sad for me watching Damian Priest lose the World Heavyweight Championship, which is probably what's going to happen. The first Puerto Rican-born champion since Pedro Morales. Big deal. It's unfortunate, pal. So it'll be sad, but hey, pick your poison at this point. Would you rather have 35-minute segments of Judgment Day with Priest as champion for the next 9 months, or Gunther having 35-minute matches with whoever from NXT?
Judgment Day. I worry that Gunther's just going to, he has good matches. Okay, he's I worry there won't be enough substance and it'll be a really long world title run. I'm like, who's going to beat him? Well, I mean, Sammy beat him at WrestleMania. He's not unbeatable. Like, what's the, I don't know. Yeah, I worry that I'm not going to like that at all. Like, I really worry about that. Like, Gunther's promo is a decent. He cut the "You're straight trash" promo to Damian Priest. Okay, excellent. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, pal. I don't think Gunther as world champion will be that good. Anyway, speaking of the Bloodline, let's move on. Cody and Sikoa, pal. Are we going to see Solo Sikoa standing tall with the world championship, pal?
Oh, I hope not. Honestly, it would not surprise me at all if WWE sacrificed Cody to have Roman come back as the all-conquering babyface and win the world title off of a heel Solo Sikoa. I don't think anybody would be shocked by that. You know, like to say that, oh, that'll never happen. Like, come on, come on. This is Triple H, pal, with his golden fingers. So just let that one sit. Yeah, nothing would surprise me. I don't want that to happen. I want Cody to beat Solo, and I want it to be definitive. Like, I think we've got to establish a little bit of a hierarchy here. One guy is the face of the company, and the other guy is where he is because of how big of a star his cousin is. If Roman wasn't that big of a star, Solo would not have a great babyface to be a heel to and play off of. Solo versus Cody is not going to have that aura that Roman versus Solo in a singles non-title match would have. When we do get that feud, that babyface Roman heel Solo feud does not need a championship. We don't need The Rock and Roman and all these Samoans having the Civil War. We don't need a championship in the middle of that. Keep the championship away from that. It doesn't. That feud, the family, all that is bigger than the championship or different than the championship. Keep it on Cody. We need a long run for Cody. I don't know who's going to take the belt from Cody, but that's another conversation for another day. I did hear somebody, I was listening to a podcast and I don't remember who it was, but somebody was talking about like, oh, you could have Cody lose and then win the title back at Bad Blood in his home state in Atlanta. You want to give Solo like a month and a half run, but then it's like, wait, is Roman not returning then? If that's the case, like, does Roman return at Bad Blood and Roman and Cody are like teaming up? Like, I mean, in theory, I wouldn't mind that. Like, Solo wins in some cheap way, like they cheat. We get a bloodline referee or something like that. Does a fast count. Solo wins and then Cody gets it back in Atlanta. Like, in theory, that's not a terrible thing to do. Like the babyface winning and triumphing is better than just a babyface going in and beating some random heel. So. I wouldn't mind it, but I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I understand. I saw some podcasts. Mentioned having Sikoa win validates what Sikoa's saying. I mean, no, he doesn't need to win. He doesn't. We need Cody. Cody keeps the title. He feuds with Randy Orton for a number of months. That's like the title storyline. And then the Bloodline is the Bloodline. Roman comes back. Roman's pissed off at Sikoa. There's a tribal warfare at War Games. The Rock's pulling strings. We got The Rock coming back later in the piece. Like, that's what we need. Sikoa winning the title does nothing here. Like, if Sikoa won the title for a week or a month and Cody won it back, I wouldn't think of Sikoa any better. Like, what Paul Heyman did for Sikoa in that segment in MSG did more for Sikoa than what winning the title will here. Like, that segment alone made me like, oh my God, Sikoa. If he won, whatever. Okay, Cody takes another loss to a Samoan. Brilliant. Like, I've seen Cody get pinned by Sikoa already. Does Sikoa need to pin Cody multiple times? Does he? Like, Sikoa is nowhere near as good as Rikishi. It was. Sikoa is... He's not... I don't know. I still don't get it with Sikoa. I don't. It's hard for me to get into. I think there's about 4 members in the Bloodline that are better than Sikoa, just in this current iteration. So, yeah, there you go.
All right, so prediction time. What do you think is going to happen here? Is this like I assume
Cody wins or we riot?
Yeah, I assume like Kevin Owens and Randy Orton will be involved, right? We'll get more of them, more of the Bloodline. Like Jacob Fatu will be here doing some crazy stuff, and yeah, it is interesting. But overall, I think Cody needs a definitive win, though. Like I don't unless they set up Cody versus Randy, like Orton comes out there with Kevin Owens and they help. And then Cody gets the win, and then Orton like RKOs him or something like that. If that's not where they're going, like I think Cody needs a definitive win here. I think the pay-per-view, the PLE needs to close with either Roman returning or Cody celebrating a big win.
Yeah, pal, I agree. I look forward to seeing how they go about it. Plenty of different avenues this SummerSlam. And yeah, so to recap that preview portion, I'm quite excited. I look forward to seeing what they do. Any closing thoughts?
Oh, yeah, I'm excited too, pal. I can't wait to watch this show play out.